In a small village in Uganda, there lived an old man named Grandpa Jjaja. He had a kind face, white hair, and walked slowly with a wooden stick. His small mud hut stood near a big beautiful mango tree. Every morning, birds sang sweet songs from its branches. That mango tree was Grandpa Jjaja's favorite. He had planted it when he was a boy. One rainy morning, Grandpa got a letter. His son and daughter-in-law had died in the city. They left behind two small children, Amina, who was 7, and her little brother Kato, who was only 3. Grandpa's heart broke, but he stood tall. They will come home, he said. I will take care of them. When the children arrived, they looked sad and scared. Amina held Kato's hand tightly. Grandpa hugged them gently and said, "You are safe now. This is your home." That night, he lit a small lamp and told them stories about lions, rivers, and stars. The children smiled for the first time in days. Grandpa gave them the softest part of the bed and ate only a little porridge so they could eat well. He sang to them when they cried. Every evening, they sat under the mango tree and watched the sun cool down. The mango tree became their special place, a place for stories, laughter, and love. The mango tree in Grandpa Jjaja's yard wasn't just big, it was magical in its own way. Its branches were white and shady. The leaves danced when the wind blew, and sweet mangoes dropped like little gifts from the sky. Amina and Kato loved that tree. In the mornings, they sat on its roots and ate juicy yellow mangoes. At noon, they played hide and seek around it. At night, they listened to Grandpa's stories under the stars, with the mango tree standing tall beside them like a quiet friend. One dry season, the garden didn't grow well. Grandpa didn't have enough food to go around, so he sold some mangoes in the village market. People came from far away just to buy from his tree. "These mangoes taste like sunshine," they would say. Grandpa used the money to buy books for Amina and slippers for Kato's tiny feet. Even when his back ached and his legs hurt, Grandpa still climbed a small ladder to pick the ripest fruits. "For my grandchildren," he would say with a smile, wiping sweat from his brow. He went hungry many nights so that Amina and Kato could eat full meals. They always said, "A full tummy helps the brain grow big and strong." And every time the children asked why he gave them so much, Grandpa would tap the mango tree and say, "Because love is like this tree. It gives without asking for anything back." Amina and Kato didn't fully understand, but they smiled and hugged Grandpa tight. They felt safe, loved, and full of sweet mango juice. Amina was now 8, and Kato was 4. They were growing fast, like little beans after the rain. Grandpa Jjaja knew they needed to go to school, even if he didn't have much money. "Education is the door to a better life," he always said. Grandpa took a small basket of mangoes to the market every week. He walked slowly, with his cane in one hand and the basket in the other. The road was long and dusty, but he didn't mind. When he got to the market, he sold the mangoes for a few coins. With the money, he bought pencils, notebooks, and even shiny black shoes for Amina. On Amina's first day of school, she wore a yellow dress and smiled from ear to ear. Kato waved as she walked down the path. Grandpa stood under the mango tree, watching proudly. "Go and shine, my little star," he whispered. When Amina came home, she told them stories about numbers, letters, and a teacher who could sing the alphabet. Kato clapped happily. Grandpa smiled and nodded. "Good, good," he said. even though he didn't know all the big words Amina used. At night, Amina would teach Kato what she learned. They would sit under the mango tree with a stick and draw letters in the dirt. Grandpa watched from his mat, his eyes twinkling like stars. Sometimes he went to bed without eating. Sometimes he had holes in his shirt. But every time Amina and Kato learned something new, Grandpa felt full of hope. "I will be a doctor one day," Amina said. "I will be a big man in the city," Kato shouted. Grandpa laughed and whispered to the mango tree, "Grow, my little children, grow like you." Years passed, and Kato turned 10. He was tall, now with strong legs from running around the village. He could climb the mango tree faster than anyone. Amina was 13 and always had her nose in a book. She wanted to be a nurse and help sick people. Kato, however, had a different dream. "I want to live in the city," Kato said one day as he plucked a ripe mango from a tree. "I want to wear nice clothes, drive big cars, and be rich." Grandpa Jjaja chuckled. "The city is bright, but it also has many shadows. Don't forget your roots, Kato. A tree raised you too." Kato nodded, but his eyes sparkled like city lights. He didn't like farming much. He wanted to wear polished shoes, not muddy slippers. When he looked at the mango tree, he didn't see shade or stories anymore. He saw land that could be sold, land that could build something bigger. Amina listened quietly. "We can still dream, Kato," she said, "but we must remember who helped us dream." Kato gave a small smile, but deep inside his heart was running ahead to the city. That evening, as the sun dipped low, Grandpa sat beneath the mango tree with the children. "This tree is older than both of you," he said. "It gave food when our bellies were empty, shade when we were tired, and joy when our hearts were sad." Amina touched the bark gently. Kato looked away. "I'm not saying don't go," Grandpa said softly. "I am saying don't forget. Yes, sometimes dreams are louder than wisdom." And in Kato's heart, the city had already begun calling. One bright morning, the birds sang loudly in the mango tree, but the house was quiet. Amina was packing her books. Kato folded his chest. They had both gotten scholarship to study in the city. Grandpa Jjaja stood by the door, holding a small bag of roasted groundnuts for them. "You are going far," he said with a smile, though his eyes looked watery. "But no matter how high a bird flies, it must remember the tree it came from." Kato hugged Grandpa quickly and said, "I will build you a big house one day." Amina hugged him longer. "I will write to you every week," she promised. Grandpa nodded and waved as they left. He stood under the mango tree, his cane in one hand and a prayer in the other. "Keep them safe," he whispered to the sky. Days turned into weeks turned into months. Amina wrote letters at first. She told stories about noisy bosses, tall buildings, and how she was learning to help sick people. Kato sent money sometimes, but no letters. Grandpa missed them. He sat alone under the mango tree every evening, telling stories to the wind. He still picked mangoes, even though there were no small hands to clap or laugh. The tree became his only friend again. One night, as he chewed on the mango, Grandpa looked up and smiled. "They are flying," he said. "My little birds are flying." But even as he smiled, he sighed deeply. The hut felt bigger now. the nights felt longer, and the mango tree, though full of fruits, somehow felt a little more lonely. Amina and Keto were now grown up. Amina became a nurse just like this she dreamed. She helped many people and sent money home whenever she could. Kato wore shining suits, worked in big office, and drove a car with windows that went up and down by themselves. Kato liked the city very much. He lived in a house with lights that never went off and food that came in boxes. He told people he came from far away, but he never talked much about Grandpa or the mango tree. That's my past, he would say. Now I'm building a future. One day, Kato got a call from a friend who wanted to build a fence around some land in the village. My old home is perfect for this, Kato said. We can clear the space and start work.
He called the builder and gave quick instructions. Clear the land. Cut down whatever is in the way, especially that big tree in the middle. It's blocking the view. That big tree was Grandpa Jjaja's mango tree. When the builders came, Grandpa stood outside his hut and watched. Please, he said kindly, don't cut the tree. And children grew up under it. My heart lives there. But the builders had orders. They nodded politely and kept walking. Grandpa sat under the tree that evening. Hugging his trunk like an old friend. They don't know what they have done for us, he whispered. But I do. The next morning, a loud sound filled the air. Crack! The tree shook. Birds flew away. Mangoes fell to the ground. And then, the mango tree was no more. After the mango tree fell, the whole yard looked differently. The big shadow that used to dance under the ground was gone. The songs of the birds were silent. Even the breeze didn't feel the same. Grandpa Jjaja sat outside his hut, looking at the empty spot where the tree once stood. His eyes didn't cry, but his heart did. The ground where the roots had lived was now bare. Only a few mangoes rolled across to death, bruised and broken. Grandpa picked one up, held it to his chest and whispered, "You gave us everything, and now you are gone." Villagers passed by and shook their heads. That tree fed half the children in his village unsaid. It was like a murder. Another added, but the builders didn't care. They hammered and dug, laying blocks for a tall, proud fence. Hato didn't come to see it. He was too busy in the city, taking photos in front of tall glass buildings and sharing jokes at big parties. Amina, however, noticed something strange. Grandpa had stopped answering her letters.
She called the village phone. A neighbor answered. "Your grandfather is quiet these days," they said. "Since the tree was cut down, he just sits and stares at the sky." Amina's heart hurt. She remembered sitting under that tree with Grandpa. She remembered stories, mango juice dripping down her chin, and laughter in the wind. She whispered to herself, "I think we forgot something important." In the village, Grandpa slowly walked to the tree slump and sat beside it. "You were more than wood and this," he said. "You were memory. You were love." And still no one from the city came. One evening, a postman arrived at Amina's hospital with a small brown envelope. It had Grandpa Jjaja's name written in shaky letters, but the return address was from the village. Inside was a note, not long, not loud. It simply read, "The mango tree is gone, and so is a part of me. I hope you remember, Jjaja." Amina sat quietly, holding the paper close, her eyes filled with tears. Suddenly all her city lights felt dim. All her new clothes and shiny shoes meant nothing. She missed Grandpa. She missed the stories. She missed the mango tree. She packed a small bag and bought a bus ticket. Boom. When she reached the village, the air smelled of earth and memory. The house looked the same, but the yard looked sad. Grandpa was sitting by the tree stump, staring at the sky. "Jjaja," she called softly. Grandpa turned his head slowly. When he saw Amina, he didn't smile right away, but his eyes sparkled with a small light. "You came," he said, as if surprised. Amina knelt beside him and touched the stump. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "We were too busy growing up. We forgot the roots." Grandpa nodded. "It's never too late to remember," he said. That night, they sat together under the stars where the mango trees used to stand. Amina brought out her notebook and wrote a new story, not of the city, not of money, but of a tree and a grandfather who gave everything. And just like before, the wind began to sing again. The next morning, as Amina swept the yard, a shiny car rolled into the village. Dust rose as it stopped near the gate. The door opened and an outstretched cattle, she wearing a fancy suit, but looking unsure. He had read Amina's message. "Come home. Grandpa needs us and the tree is gone." Cattle walked slowly towards the hut. He saw the empty space where the mango tree once stood. He saw Grandpa sitting quietly on a mat. Older now, thinner but still proud. "Jjaja," Cattle said, voice low. "I didn't know. I didn't think." Grandpa looked at him and nodded. "You thought the tree was just wood," he said gently. "But it was your childhood, your shade, your stories." Cattle knelt down. "I'm sorry, Jjaja. Truly, I was chasing tall buildings and forgot the one that held me up first." Grandpa didn't scold. He didn't shout. He simply reached out his hand and said, "Then plant something better." Cattle looked confused. "Plant?" "Yes," Amina said with a small smile. "Let's plant a new mango tree together." That afternoon, Cattle, Amina, and Grandpa dug a hole in the same spot where the old tree had stood. Grandpa held a small mango seedling in his wrinkled hands. It was tiny, but full of promise. They placed it gently in the soil, covered its roots, and watered it with care. "It will take time," Grandpa said, "but love always grows back." And for the first time in years, all three of them sat together, side by side, hands in the soil, hearts starting to heal. The ground felt warm, the future felt hopeful, and something beautiful had just begun again. Many months passed. The little mango tree began to grow. First, it was just a stick with two tiny leaves. Then it grew taller, stretching its arms towards the sky like a child waking up from sleep. Grandpa Jjaja washed it every day. He placed stones around it to keep goats away. Amina made a small sign that said, "This tree was planted with love." Cattle, now visiting more often, took off his suit jacket and helped water it each time he came. Children from the village came to see the tree too. Grandpa told them stories under his green shade. "This is not just a tree," he would say. "It's the reminder of family, of giving, of never forgetting where you came from." Amina built a small clinic beside the house so she could help people in the village. Cattle helped rebuild the old hut and painted it yellow. He no longer wanted big fences. We don't need to shut the world out, he said. We need to let love in. Years later, the tree became tall and strong. It gave sweet mangoes, just like the old one. Birds came back. So did the laughter. One day, Grandpa sat under the tree with grey clouds above. His hands were weak, but his smile was wide. If I close my eyes now, he whispered to the wind, I will not be afraid. My tree stands again. My children remember. And when Grandpa Jjaja finally rested, the village gathered under the mango tree. It told stories, sang songs, and planted more mango trees in his honor. It was love, like mango trees, always grows again. If you care for it, remember it and pass it on.